welcome to episode 98 of What If Civilization Started Over. Let's get into it. So last episode, we saw many things happen, like giant union in Asia, Chinese going to war, giant union in Oceania, more Southern African stuff, South America, just America as a whole, and a bunch of other things. But the biggest thing happened here in Europe, with over in the German country, going to war with the green country, the red country, and the Mediterranean. That's a pretty big event. Yeah. Going over... What happened? What happened to this star? I don't know. But speaking of that, we are actually going to be seeing this nation, this red one, decide to join up with this union here. That's a pretty big thing. Yeah. But another big thing is down in Southern Africa. As these files are getting too out of hand for this Southern Union to even handle. In the Southern Union here, it's impossible for it to handle it. Wait, should I put on provinces? Yeah, sure. The Southern Union over here is not doing well as it cuts through and completely takes over this area. And well, this is not going well at all, as eventually it reaches just the capital region, and this is really bad for obvious reasons. And then the fires will be continuing to go, and eventually the Southern African region has fallen over to the fires. It's been completely burned down. You know, the fires are mainly focusing up north, or mainly up north. Yeah. And the fires are expanding even more rapidly, as they continue expansions in Tanzania. They quickly go ahead and take over all these areas here and surround this lake. And they are going to be dominating these northern areas as countries attempt to push back. Eventually, it's getting too much out of hand, and many of the Nigerian Congo forests here are gone, and the fires are getting close to reaching the capital of this nation. But this nation will be able to push back a bit against the fires. Yeah. Going over to Papua New Guinea, we can see something really big happening. A really large meteor hits Indonesia. A giant meteor hits Indonesia, sinking all of these Indonesian areas. And the flooding from this giant meteor is so bad it fully sinks the Philippines and is continuing to sink more and more islands across East Asia, and even Taiwan is included in one of those. And well, there. Taiwan is off the province map, which is pretty bad. And also, these floods are rapid. These floods are sinking everything, and Papua New Guinea is left to just this island, as eventually these floods are so bad that they sink the entirety of Papua New Guinea. Yep, that's a pretty large event. I wouldn't want that happening. And well, basically, a huge chunk over here just disappears. And also, going right down south, because of these, the Oceanic Isles will be deciding to unite, alongside New Zealand. All of them don't really like each other, but they have one common cause: to stop the expansion and unite to maybe try to fix this world. That's their main goal, and all of 4 of these Oceanic Islands unite into one union of Oceania, officially making the most united Australia ever since Papua New Guinea fully controlled the area. But now Papua New Guinea is left to just this, and this thing, China is going to go ahead and annex it. And Papua New Guinea is gone. Yep, that's a pretty large event. One of the most historical nations, is gone. And the floods are so flash, they're so rapid, that they just make sense why these guys would sink. These were sinking in real life. But all of Madagascar sinks. And well, that is very bad for obvious reasons, as more and more regions, small islands across the Indian Ocean start to sink. Even this island sinks. And then, well, that's basically all the main parts that sink. This one flood has single-handedly destroyed basically the Indian Ocean. But another meteor hits. An even larger meteor hits these Canadian Isles, and it's so bad that it melts and sinks all of Greenland. Yep, that's pretty bad. And even, well, some of these Canadian isles here start to sink because of they just getting melted. And this is going to cause many effects around the world, as two giant meteors have sort of like just hit like the Indian Ocean and Canada. That's a pretty large event, if I would say for myself. And after this meteor hits, two pretty huge events happen. Hawaii joins the Union. That's not the big event. And the South American Union has gone a lot bigger, and America decides to join the South American Union for the cause of uniting the Americas. For the cause to unite the world into, unite the world and, try to stop what's coming. And because of that, all of these Canadian nations here join this union. And if you can't already tell what's about to happen, which is actually going to be impossible, so why'd I say that? But the South Americans join the Union Alliance. Yeah. They join the Star Alliance, the largest alliance in the world as of now. And this Union Alliance is becoming even greater as a new nation decides to join this union here. This union is going to gain another member, this country. The union gets bigger, more green is in the world. Green is everywhere, specifically in Europe, and the Americas are fully united for the first time in history. Africa has a cause to unite, as this green country decides to join Egypt. Yeah, they join Egypt. That's pretty big. But then the Persian country's here. Let me get a new color. Let's maybe do another blue color. The Persian Union reunites. The Persians are back, but in a different form. This is a pretty large event, for obvious reasons, because now the majority of the countries in the world are over here in Europe. And one of them is gone, as these guys decide to join this country. And, the rest of them joins the Americas. Yeah. Going over to Europe, while that was happening, this stuff was happening. As I can get the major cities later on. Yeah. As the Grey Team will be continuing their expansions, expanding over into more major cities of the Green Team. As the Green Team is in full-on collapse, as they lose their final major city. And, they are just going to be forced to capitulate and surrender. But the Red Team is going to be able to push back as they go ahead and recapture this major city. But in return, they had to do that, but they had to sacrifice the green major cities here, and this fourth one, and are getting close to sacrificing the fifth. Yeah. And the Mediterranean does continue pushing, recapturing this major city, and going ahead and taking this nation. Yeah. But then a new nation decides to join the Circle Alliance. The Circle Alliance currently also includes the Mediterranean, as they just joined the alliance. That's pretty large. It's against Germany. And the Irish, or the British, join the Union Alliance against Germany. Now Germany has a plan, and this plan is to go ahead and capture the Red Team's capital, which they start to do as they go ahead and get on the outskirts, capturing the closest major city to their capital that is part of their territory, and entering the capital province. But the Red Team is going to be able to push back down south, as the southern region is pretty much undefended ever since the Germans moved more of their forces up in order to attempt to capture the capital. And the Red Team is getting close to capturing the capital of this nation. Yeah. But there's one secret thing. The Germans had a secret alliance with a secret nation. Apparently, all along, Iberia was pretending to be in this alliance, but instead, they were allied with the Germans, and the Germans formed this alliance against the Circle Alliance, which is against them. And when they join this alliance, the Iberians are going to start pushing. The Iberians start invading over in this part of the Mediterranean. They will start by taking this major city and eventually pushing back and taking this one next. As they eventually push through, eventually going ahead around these coastlines, and eventually taking this major city. Then they decide to walk through these areas and take this major city, and a huge march starts to go over to the capital city of the blue team. And the Mediterranean wasn't expecting that, so they don't really notice. But what happens is this major city is quickly taken, and so is this one. The Mediterranean is losing pretty badly in Iberia as the Iberians start to reach the actual main provinces that have made of the Mediterranean. Going over to Germany, Germany captures the capital of the red team. As the city is gone, the city is destroyed, and well, the red team's capital is gone, and right after this, let me turn the slayer off. Right after this, the Germans quickly go ahead and capture these two major cities, very quickly also going ahead and capturing this one, and eventually going ahead and capturing this one, and this one, and this one, and even this one, and they were just going on a rampage, capturing as many major cities as possible, which is going very successfully for them, as they would take a majority of the major cities in the entire nation before the Mediterranean decides to get involved and will just go ahead and occupy the areas, as they believe the red team is not able to fight back as of now. Well, they're kind of gone already, so it's basically the British and the Mediterraneans versus the Iberians and the Germans. Yeah. The Iberians, with support from other nations, will be going ahead and capturing this city, as eventually they finally get to these main provinces and start to push into main European territory. As this major city is captured, and the Iberians will be threatening both capitals, as the armies are right here. The armies have walked across the entirety of the Mediterranean and have made a large landing. This landing is very successful as it helps connect with these and take these two major cities. The Mediterranean is losing badly against both fronts. Yeah. The Mediterranean will decide to go ahead and focus east. They are going to spend the majority of their navy attempting to fight off Britain. Britain is a pretty large nation, and they have a pretty good navy, so they are going to be hard to fight, but a lot of these major cities are captured, specifically in the Brittany area and the French area. Going down south, we can see that the Mediterranean is losing badly. As well, what happens is this major city is captured, and eventually this whole area is recaptured. This major city will then eventually be captured, and the Mediterranean recaptures more and more major cities. No, the Germans continue to capture more major cities, and well, this is what the map looks like as the Germans are about to make it down to Italy. And then they go down and capture this final major city before they reach Italy, and then reach this one, and get really close to fending off Italy. And then what happens, all of these areas down here will be surrendering over to these areas. But then a new nation joins this war. A new nation to fight against the German Republic over here. This German Republic, this new nation, will not be activating the alliance they're in, but instead will be joining purely against Germany. Just saying again, this won't activate their alliance. And that country is the Lithuanian country. Lithuania declares war on Germany, which the Square Alliance is an attack one, attack all alliance, which basically is like, if you attack us, then we'll invade you. But if one of our members attacks you, then we don't really activate, so we don't care. Yeah. That's pretty convenient. Yeah. And the Lithuanians will be starting their invasion of Germany, as they quickly go ahead and capture these two major cities, and the Germans weren't expecting this, as they are very close to the capital. And these two major cities get captured as well, and even this one down here gets captured, as many troops are captured and sent to prison camps over in Poland or Germany. Yeah. But this will warrant the Germans to move back and we'll be able to push the Iberians out of the Mediterranean areas, and a lot of these areas are taken. But then, well, by now, this area is ocean now, but I won't show it on the map. Yeah, sure, let's just make it ocean again. Yeah, that looks better. Just remove this border real quick. That looks a lot better. I could have done some cool stuff with that weird land, but I don't really want to. But, well, it's gone now, so we can't really do anything about it. Yep, and finally I have to delete this line correctly. There. Ocean is back to normal. Yep. Oh yeah, some errors over here. I can just delete these ones as well. They're pretty simply, actually. I just go here, delete this word thing. Yeah. That's the ocean drained. Yeah. Going back over here to Poland, the Polish country is going to be continuing to push against is going to be pushing back against Germany. But Germany, with a huge front of troops, slams into the Polish troops and starts to decimate them, capturing these major cities and starting a massive push towards the Lithuanian capital. They go up and take this major city from Poland, or kind of like recapture it. Yeah. And all these areas here are taken, and the Polish are starting to be pushed back. Now, they're Lithuanian technically, but still, as the Germans will be going to the lesser populated Poland, major cities are sort of a way to help with population. That's pretty convenient, but they will be pushing and taking this major city like this. As they go ahead and continue to push, taking more and more major cities, and why does that keep happening? And start to threaten the capital as they go ahead and absolutely decimate Germany or Poland. Yeah, or Lithuania. But all the major cities are captured except for the capital and this one fellow over here. But how is this happening? Well, because of one thing. A secret weapon. A secret weapon over in Germany is very hidden. But then, as the front lines continue, we can see that the Mediterranean is close to defeat, more major cities are being captured, and, well, the country is basically gone. But then, this secret weapon gets released. And that secret weapon is 10 nuclear bombs. And this is going to warrant many things. Has Germany just broken the peace treaty of World War III? Yep, Germany has just broken the peace treaty of World War III. And this warrants a response. A very big response. As the Square Alliance formally declares war on Iberia and Germany. And countries put their lines up and start shooting at Germany. And that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed today's scenario where civilization started over. See you in the next episode, where we see episode 99 of the series, also known as the episode before episode 100. Bye!